Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Those Guys on the Radio. Ooh, it's 12 Nights of Shyamalan, Tristan. Ooh.
Okay,
Ooh.
I mean, I would say the ooh is a little more appropriate for this one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, right? Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I think the ooh was appropriate for the happening. The ooh was, I think, the least appropriate for Lady in the Water.
Well, yeah, I feel like the ooh for the happening is more like a ugh.
No, it's like ooh. It's like ooh. But today we're talking about a Shyamalan film that technically isn't even a Shyamalan film. Boom! We hit you with the twist in the beginning. It would have been like if the movie started off with the old lady being like, "I'm the fucking devil, motherfucker," into the camera.
Oh,
that would have been like start of the movie. So were you expecting that twist? I think that was a good twist. Granted, I was expecting it when I first saw it. I was like, it's got to be the old lady because it's always like it was the idea of if we're flipping things around, it's going to be the one that's the least of a problem. But then when she died when I was younger, I'm like, I mean, if she's the devil, then it can still be the old lady, but I do wonder. So, like, what was your take on that?
I mean, I guess it was because she wasn't on any of the lists, so did she actually... I'm assuming she was still a person? Like, she did exist, right? It wasn't just the devil.
No, I don't think she existed. But I think that that's one of the problems I imagine with the movie where we're going to critique it, and I'm sure like a lot of people did, and be like, really, Master Cop like that? She goes, well, of course it's not the old lady, but we also have to flip around and think, would the old lady be able to do the shit that actually was happening?
Right.
So, like, I will admit, yes, the thought is, well, why are we caring about the old lady? And besides, the old lady did show her driver's license immediately, so it's like, look, like I feel like he was more focused. Granted, that becomes an issue because it's like, you treat him like he's like a well-trained police officer because he is, as in his division. I mean, they show him being a crack cop when you see him, you see the guy that killed himself, and it's like, no, there's no glass here. Clearly, it happened over here.
Right.
Yeah, that's what led him to the building in the first place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it is strange, you're right, that he didn't go, hey, what's the old lady's ID and shit? But I think you could argue, even though he should be good under pressure because, again, cop, but you could argue once shit started really hitting the fan, it's like, can we fucking get those people out of here so no one else gets murdered?
Well, I mean, they also made the point, like, it's hard to read the ID in the elevator camera. It wasn't very clear.
Yes, no. So like but that's the thing. They don't know her name, but they are looking through the records, and they should have. I don't know. You're right. Like, it's like we don't know her name, but what we do know is clearly someone who's killing these people. I guess they would argue has to have some kind of strength. And then when she died earlier in the movie, it was like, well, she didn't hang herself.
Right.
She died. I would argue she died pretty early on. I know, like it. Not. I don't mean like in the first 20 minutes, but she died early enough that if you're not doing what I did, which I was like, El Diablo, so it can still be her. You're like, well, I guess she's off the list.
Yeah, no, I with all the shit that was happening, I knew it was going to be the devil. I mean, hell, the way the movie opens and even the name. So
yeah,
I didn't rule anyone out either. Although I thought it wasn't going to be.
That raccoon.
I thought it wasn't going to be any of them. Oh my god.
That is also another because what's interesting though. Okay, so I was joking about the raccoon. That would be the twist. The raccoon's like, nah, I have rabies, fam.
Oh my god.
Well, because I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought that would be a twist too. Like everything would then somehow turn out to be explainable.
Well, because it's funny the way she got scratched or bit or whatever. We heard something scuffling through the elevator shaft.
Right.
And I know it sounds silly, but like I'm not saying that at any point I thought it was going to be a twist because again, I've seen this movie once before, literally when it came out. So maybe in like 2011. So for me, I knew what was going to happen. I knew what the end game was, but I forgot little stuff in the middle. So I sat there and I was like, okay, I know she's the devil. Everything else
Right.
up to interpretation in my head. I was like, everything else I'm not sure. Let's see what's going on here. But it's interesting though, because I made the joke about the raccoon. But in not even in pop culture, but like when people talk about religion and things like that, and some who are a bit more devout than I am, because I just grew up with Catholicism, but I'm not necessarily, I don't consider myself devout. We'll say that the devil can't have dominion over like animals and shit like that.
Huh.
So it's interesting how the animals played a part, sort of. Like the raccoon was fucking with things, and then birds ended up killing that dude.
I mean,
the one that was going down the shaft. Like he was trying to get the radio.
Guy.
Yeah, the maintenance guy was trying to get the radio, and then all of a sudden the birds flew out. At a very opportune moment, said the devil. Oh, I wonder who would have done that, said the devil. It's just like, Could you just imagine the devil being like, oh, that's actually very embarrassing. I did not do that. I'm sorry. I was actually trying to save one of the other birds, and I ended up killing that dude. I'm sorry.
Right. I mean, that also seemed to strike me as odd, too, because he was only, I mean, that, because, I don't know, like, on a, like, if we're looking at alignment chart, like, a lot of stuff, especially if it's, like, old stories of, God and the devil still follows kind of a code, like, he's lawful evil, not chaotic evil. There's still a plan, necessarily. So when other people start dying, or I get, like you were saying, the story starts off with the suicide, it's like, so did the devil cause that, or was that just a coincidence, or? I mean, you could argue they caused it. It's funny. Did he work? He worked on the floor with all the lawyers. Oh no, it makes sense. No, what do you mean? It doesn't make sense. He's going to kill himself. No. It's that the devil got involved. In fact, I'm sure the devil was just trying to make it 3:00. Or like the guard, too. Like the guard and the maintenance guy, they didn't have criminal records as far as we knew. Who knows? Maybe they were evil too. Yeah, no, I think the way the Hispanic guy, I know his name was Ramirez, but I don't know anything else about him other than he's assumingly Hispanic, might be Mexican, no idea. They didn't really delve into that, but but he, I have to admit though, at first I was with him because as someone who was Cuban Puerto Rican, I was like, you preach about El Diablo, Ramirez. And then when he did the pizza thing, I was going to ask you how you felt about that. But then when he did the pizza thing, I was like, God damn it, Ramirez, we look like idiots. Good fucking job. Toast always lands jelly side up. Oh, sorry, toast. I look down. Okay, thank you. Sorry, it was toast. No, I didn't notice what it was. It looked like a weird Chicago pizza or something. Yeah, no, I thought it was pizza too. And then he said toast lands jelly side down. I'm like, okay. Right. Oh, I heard it always lands down. I didn't hear jelly side. Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you bring in toast into the equation, it's just like, look, I understand there's no actual way to try to explain it to someone, but is toast really the way you tried to connect to white people? Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you? He's like, I'm talking to a white guy. What am I doing here? It's like, what if the white guy had been in his like early 20s? What would he have done? You have to understand, the avocado toast always lands avocado down. Oh my God. Like I don't know, man. I was like, what are you doing, Ramirez? What are you fucking doing? Other than that, though, I mean, I have to say, I like movies like this when it comes to religion, because I feel like it's not like something is getting shoved down someone's throat, or it's kind of like a propaganda type machine where it's just like, don't you worry, God is still with us. Like, no, it's actually more so the idea that, yes, there is good and evil. Yes, if there's a devil, there's a God. True. But also the fact that God didn't have to come down and be like, do I have to slap a devil? It's humans
forgiving. You could say it's God's grace through humanity, but the human characters were able to save themselves. It didn't turn into like a fucking video game where it's like it didn't go from zero to like Dragon Ball Z with like God versus the devil, and it's like they're moving too fast.
Right.
I can't see it. You know, it was humanity. And it was humanity, it was humans' own, yes, their follies brought the devil, of course, but it is true forgiveness and it is atoning for your sins that actually save them. And to be fair, it's not even like the guy, the one who actually, the mechanic, because some of them don't have names, although I think he said his name was Tony, but the mechanic, it's not like he actually said, like, I pray to the Lord, I pray to God. No, he just said, look, I truly am sorry. Like, I truly made a mistake. I'm sorry. The devil's like, fuck, are you sure you weren't, like, kind of happy to see the kid?
Oh,
not at all. Fuck. Are you sure, like, maybe you were like, ha, she's dead? Nope, not at all. Do you have anything against anyone that runs Budweiser? I don't know. He's trying to find some kind of sin. Like, did you enjoy what happened in Afghanistan? No, I just tried to fight for my country and people's freedoms. Fuck. The freedom to do what? Get out, devil. It's just, the devil was like, you know what? Fucking shit. Like, I'm just trying to steal shitty people here.
Yeah, he's just like, I have been stuck in this elevator all day with the rest of you freaks. The least you could do is give this to me.
Honestly, it was all for you, Damien. It was just for you, man. And I had to kill so many people here. You want to know what she did? She blackmailed some people. Who gives a fuck? I mean, it's terrible, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if that's going to hellworthy compared to killing a wife and kid.
Yeah.
Like, they legit showed the kid out of the car and the window had broken. I'm like, oh, damn.
That too.
Yeah, it's like, I hate to be that kind of guy, but, like, comparing everyone's sins in there, I'm like, hers, bad. She should be put in front of a court, sure, because blackmail's not good. But also, granted, we don't know the kind of blackmail, but, like, if it was the way it was, I don't know, because I have a feeling the way it may have turned out was she had sex with these married men, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, I'm blackmailing you. And I'm like, all right, that's wrong. But these married men had sex with her, so, like, maybe don't have sex with people if you're married and if you have millions and millions of dollars. Unless you're totally cool with it coming out because you had sex with her. Don't do that. Now, you shouldn't be blackmailed for it, obviously, but it's kind of weird. Like, is the devil like, it's like, devil, like, let me go through her purse. Oh, those are the people she fucked. All right, cool, we're going to get them too for adultery, all right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird that it's only on her. Like, she blackmailed them and had sex, and then she married into a family. I'm like, look, man, she's moving up in the world. Like, she's making money moves. Like, I'm not saying I like it, but but better than that other fucking dude with the Ponzi scheme.
Right.
And one person killed himself due to that Ponzi scheme. Like, right there, I'm like, oh, fuck that guy. Like, at first, before the touching ass thing, I was like, he's just being a playful goof. And then it was like, did you touch my ass? And I'm like, unless that's the devil fucking with them, because it totally could be, he just touched her ass. I don't think he should die, but he definitely, oh, God, he got stabbed in the neck. Well.
Neck, yeah.
Well, I was like, I'm not saying
like,
this. Yeah.
I feel like everything that happened in the elevator was the devil fucking with them.
Yes. Well, I mean, it was. I mean, of course, we had the old woman constantly questioning the dude who had, or at least the security guard, which the security guard, it was strange because, I mean, he did have claustrophobia, but I thought he did at first, but he definitely clammed up about it later. So I'm really confused as to what, like, maybe it's just like I don't have time to worry about my claustrophobia when all of us are dying.
Too, the adrenaline and shock will kind of
maybe
mess you up too, but
yeah. So I'm pretty sure
might actually just break through it.
Yeah, I think all that stuff was really just there to kind of just throw us off. I mean, as the viewer, but, like, not just like as the person in the elevator, but like as the viewer, because the game was, it was. That's the thing. Like, I can understand if people who have seen movies like this countless times again to be like, oh, this is just standard. It's like an Agatha Christie novel.
Right.
Like who was it? The butler? There's like one butler on. There's a butler on the elevator. Like, look, I understand what you guys are going through, but it's not me. Usually, it ends up being me. I can assure you, it's not me. It's like, really? Because you have a shiv in your back pocket. Yes, I live in New York. I like to protect myself, but I am not the one who has been killing all of you. But yeah, I mean. It's obviously the devil, but the question became who is the devil possessing, or what form is the devil taking? Because I think at this point, the devil in a way was so OP that I don't think the old lady ever even existed. It's not like he possessed someone. The old lady isn't real.
Yeah, okay, because I thought it was possession.
Possession.
But...
Yes, but I think if it was possession, she would have fell to the floor. And the devil would have left, and people would have been like, "Oh shit, the devil just left her body," and then she died. But I think to up the game, because look, I know it might be silly. It's like, but how did she have a government issued ID? Yeah, and how was she the devil? Are we really fucking doing this right now? It was a fake ID.
Government issued ID along with. Oh well, yeah, right. Oh right, yeah, because she was the one stealing wallets too, so that could have been a stolen ID, even.
Oh wait, what was that? I didn't notice. She stole wallets?
Yeah, the old lady was a pickpocket.
Oh.
They find that out when they see her in the They find
her
in the lobby, and she steals a woman's purse or her wallet out of her purse.
Boom. Yeah. Also, I mean, I don't know if she had her thumb on most of the face, but she may have. Either way, though. Who did you think it was? Like, what was your first impression? Also, did you think that it was possession? Like, because you knew devil was in the name. By the point that we got in the elevator and shit started going wrong, were you like, oh, it's the devil? Well, because you've never seen this movie.
Okay. No, I haven't. But just the fact of how the movie starts out, when it's like, oh, it's actually Ramirez's character who's telling. It's like his mother or his grandmother would tell a story.
Yes, his mom,
like that little blurb at the beginning, yeah. So, like, when shit started, like, when the elevator stopped, I was like, okay, it's not necessarily, and then they're like, oh, it's, the maintenance light is on, are you working on it? No. I'm like, and they go up there, it's like, I don't get it, the switch is fine, it should be moving. Intensifies.
Demon intensifies.
Oh God.
Yeah, frankly, I have to say, I really enjoyed the way the movie just used that one setting. Yes, it jumped between other places as well, of course, because it is a little bit harder to make a movie, I say nowadays, and just have it be in one setting and that's it, like one small elevator. But I do think that it was a great minimalist approach to kind of, because I don't know, because I don't think we need to have a story about the devil where it's just like, and he takes over the whole world, and then we have to make sure that one guy comes, fucking Castlevania remake. Like, no, we don't need that. We don't need to have, granted, it would be in one castle, but still a rather large castle, but still, we don't need to have, like, a devil going throughout the world. Like, it's interesting concepts, I think, like having, like, the devil throughout the world, trying to, like, track down, like, different demonic shit. I mean, technically, you could argue in a weird way that's supernatural, but not really, the show. But we don't need that, right? We can just have, like, this movie happening in an elevator. And even though I will question the idea that I don't think the devil is efficient, like, frankly, I would like to live in a world with their devil, because the devil is not efficient whatsoever.
How so?
The devil took nearly, half a day, potentially, to kill 3 people?
Oh, I see. Okay.
if they said that was a demon
You mean,
or
like,
working on behalf
time-wise,
of the
got
devil,
it. Okay.
time-wise
that's fair.
versus how many people the devil killed, I'm like, wow.
I was going to be like, Matt, they're all pretty super dead.
But there are so many other things that happened throughout the world, thinking about, like, the real world, because obviously this is, like, a modern-day setting.
I get you.
There are so many, there's so much bad shit that happens that sometimes people blame it on the devil, et cetera, that if this was the work of the devil, I killed, 3 people? Minus the ones outside the elevator, but even then, that brings the body count to less than 10 people.
Right.
It's horrendous, no doubt.
Unless the devil can be in multiple places at once.
See, if that's the case, I just pissed myself. But
Rocky.
Raw. Like Zoink Scoob, I'm the devil.
Oh God, I jaywalked yesterday. Oh no.
You shouldn't have shit on the carpet, Scoob. Fucking.
Oh God.
I mean, I assume that would take him to dog hell, maybe. I don't know. If there's different.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Not you.
Can you imagine just, it looks like we got stuck in this elevator, gang. Fucking Velma's the devil.
Oh my God.
That would be,
honestly,
that would be interesting.
Out of all of them, I could see her killing them off the most.
I just think it would be one of those, oh, of course it's not Velma. Oh, no, it's Velma. Velma would be talking about science throughout the entire thing. No, it can't be. It can't be anything supernatural. Come on, we always pull people's masks off, so of course it's not anything supernatural.
Oh, my God.
Immediately, it's Velma. But still, Velma. But still, the point is that with this movie itself, I don't know. Like, I have to say that I do think that using the setting the way that they did, I do think it worked well because it also required I would imagine, very little budget in a way. Like, there was some shit that happened, no doubt, right? But I would argue that if it was, something like The Happening, which happened, huge. I mean, we talked about The Happening just last night on another night of Shyamalan. There was a lot of scenery there. Granted, you have to rent out a building, so maybe the costs outweigh and stuff like that. But I don't know if the elevator was a set. I would imagine it was, because I never know it. Even though technically Shyamalan didn't create this movie the way that he usually does, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, still, I mean, for fucking Lady in the Water, they created an apartment complex. So I never fucking know with Shyamalan. I never know if it's like, it's Shyamalan, so we're going to create a skyscraper. No.
Oh, my God. Right.
We are not going to create a skyscraper.
We're going to buy out a business building for a month in New York City.
No.
Or Pennsylvania.
Well, you know what?
Whatever.
You don't want to support creators anymore and artistic vision. We will not make a skyscraper nor rent one out for a month. But seriously though, yeah, getting back to something I don't think we got the chance, or you got the chance to answer. Who did you think it was? Like, I know you mentioned a lot of stuff was happening, but was there ever a point where you were like, it's definitely so-and-so, and then their fucking neck was snapped or there was fucking stabbed in the chest?
I mean, I kind of felt like it went, I thought all of them at one point or another. That's why I thought like the devil was like using them to do his bidding in a way, like he was switching from one person to another. Good
point. At one point I was curious about that when first watching it, but then as the movie went on, I was like, no, they're making it seem like it's one person.
Right.
Because that's actually a very good point, because it seemed like, minus just the general manipulation here and there, it seemed like the devil was like the woman at one point, not the older woman, the younger woman.
Yeah,
it looked like the devil was her.
Right.
When she was saying
to the security guard, like, yeah, kill him, right. or even with the the pyramid scheme dude being the evil businessman in the suit, or like attacking the one, because yeah, that was the thing. I guess it made me really feel like the blackmail woman was the devil, because she seemed like she was the one staying out of most of the conflicts, trying to make herself look like the one, like, oh, I'm, what am I going to do? There's like 3 guys in here, and then me. I couldn't have killed any of them. Of the time.
I think she was doing that. Granted, to be fair, if she was never possessed by the devil, then she truly is innocent in all of this. So we do have to remember that. In this case, she's truly innocent, which is crazy to think about, right? Because like we're being bombarded with their past shit, and it's like, well, remember, in this case, she is completely innocent. But taking some of the reason why she's in that and in that situation, she's being judged by the devil. I would argue that there's a good chance that she just wants that to be her persona. It's like, I'm on camera, I'm being filmed. I do not want it to seem like, because she's, but she's meeting up with lawyers. For all we know, from the way the movie set it up, they were even saying, oh yeah, she's probably going to divorce her husband. So it's like, fuck blackmail. She moved up to finally getting to marry a rich guy and then leave him and take his money.
Yeah, right.
No, like, she's like on the criminal list of doing shit like that. Like, she definitely moved up in the world. It's like,
right.
At first it was just, maybe having some sex, maybe touching some things. Then all of a sudden it's just like, well, if you don't want your wife to find out. I want to meet the one person in one of these movies where it's like, do you really want your wife to find out about this? And it's like, please, sweetie, I fucked 5 other guys. Fucking, you think you're going to be a problem? Go, tell her. I want to meet that one guy who's just like, oh, really? You think you're an issue?
Right.
And just showing her his Grindr account.
Oh my God.
It's like, please, sweetie, get the fuck out of here. Not even the wife knows. It's just like, no, just go tell her. Just go fucking tell her. That'll be the worst thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just making her seem so insignificant. Like, I thought I was special. Sweetie, you're trying to blackmail me. Get the fuck out of here. But
I get 5 blackmail threats a week. What have you done? You don't even.
What haven't I done?
This isn't. This is just the tip of the iceberg, honey. Oh God. Oh, that would be terrible.
Oh my God, that would be great.
I don't want to meet that guy, Matt. What the fuck?
Here, I just fucked her last week. Just hello, bah. Get the fuck out of here. Takes the phone away.
What?
Just leave. What have you been doing? Again, what haven't I been doing? Leave!
If you keep asking those questions, you're going to be floating down a river somewhere.
They find her dead. It's like, what happened? She took a bath in sulfuric acid. Said she needed to wipe clean.
Oh, God.
She needed to wipe it all away. But yeah, so, talking about the actual fucking movie, yeah, no, I do think that she wanted to play squeaky clean. But once things started to hit, shit started to hit the fan, squeaky clean became, oh my God, I actually could die here. Because again, let's be real. Let's actually be fair here. If all of them were never possessed, other than that one old lady who I don't even think was possessed, I think she just is the devil, then they were all innocent. Like, they died thinking, oh my God, that other guy actually just snapped my neck.
Yeah, at that point, when I saw his neck twisted all the way around, I'm like, okay, no one in here is doing that. I don't care if you do have Army combat training. You're not twisting his neck all the way around like that.
What
Snapping
I feel,
it, sure, but
I would be so confused and scared because I'd be like, if I was the Army dude, I'd be like, all right, what fucking Krav Maga class are you taking? Like, what fucking class are you taking? Because he has to look at her and be like, bruh, what the fuck?
I mean, I don't know. I guess if I, along with all the shock and panic and just adrenaline and not wanting to die, but my first thought at that point would be like, okay, so, this is it. It's supernatural. That's the only That is when every other rational explanation has been thrown out the window, the unlikely one is the only thing that can be true.
How funny would it be? He's like, he's there with the glass. I think it's the devil. The devil's popping up in the background. Did you really just ruin this? I was about to say something, and it was gonna be great. Did you really just fucking ruin this? Look, as the devil's rising, I think it's the devil.
Instead of waiting. Yeah, the devil just drops the elevator immediately. It's like, you ruined the punchline. You know what? You're just gonna fall down the shaft. I don't care anymore. I have 5 million more souls to judge by the end of the day.
No, not that. The scene where she's clearly rising and levitating, just that.
Oh, right, yeah.
Behind the both of them looking at each other like, and he's like, I think it's the devil. And as the devil's rising, it's the scary face, and then the second the devil hears that, goes, Did you really just ruin this whole thing? Do you understand? You know what? You don't, because you're a shitty person.
No.
Do you understand how long it takes to set this whole thing up? I don't think you understand something, okay? I had to take over animals to do this, all right? This isn't just some kind of 1, 2, 3 lickety-split kind of thing. This requires planning. I, as the devil, had to look at blueprints for this entire goddamn building. I had to shut down an elevator company.
Oh, my.
I had to shut down an elevator company.
Oh.
Do you understand how difficult it is to shut down an elevator company? I didn't until I had to.
Apparently it's not as difficult as creating a human form to take on Earth and make it look like an actual human and talk and walk and all the other shit. I guess.
I feel like that's pretty easy. I mean, no, because that's just a snap of your fingers.
Come on, Matt.
But like
it's
other
transmutation
shit.
101.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's normal. But like other shit that had to be done that was intricate. That like that's what I'm saying. Like this devil seems like it's just like I would prefer this devil than the way that people describe the devil in our universe, where it's just like, you know, where it's like X amount of people, you know, this happened here, this happened there, this natural disaster, this there, and it's just like, oh, that's the work of the devil, and the devil's just like, dude, I was in fucking Wyoming trying to kill 3 people. Chill. It's not me. Like, it's just with the amount of shit people talk about, it's just like this is a very inefficient, kind of relaxed, and also I know you've mentioned the devil has like rules and shit, but it is super duper funny that it's just like, wait, you've atoned? God damn it! And God's like, you rang, motherfucker. Like immediately atoning is just A-okay. Granted, I still love the theme as like a general, like, you know, like a movie theme of like, you know, if there is evil, if there is good. And I do think that, again, it's a better way to make a religious movie than some other ones that I've seen or seen trailers for. But like Signs, I would argue, is even somewhat good in that regard. There were plenty of issues with Signs, but I don't think the faith was the problem.
Right.
But, yeah. But anyway, so you were thinking, kind of like I was a little bit when I first saw this, oh, the devil is jumping in between people.
Right. Or influencing them, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it was always
yeah.
Like, even when the guy in the business suit, like, you know, when she had the wound on her back, I was like, he was looking at himself like, what the hell just happened? Like, I swear I didn't touch her. And
I don't think he did, because that was weird to have those kind of scratch marks.
Right.
Like, what I think happened was, oh no, the lights are off. The woman is now, or you know, the devil is now like, excellent.
Right.
That's why the devil snatched their phones away. I don't know if you noticed that when they were all holding their phones up, all 3 of them.
Oh yeah. Right.
They were legit
the phones got smacked away.
Yes, right. Because, you know, as the viewer, we saw the devil or different forms of the devil at different points, but the actual people in the film, they can't just see that it's the devil before the fucking, you know, the finale.
Right.
You know? I mean finale as in, like, the devil actually crafting out. The devil's like, I crafted out a 3-part story. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Like, the devil is, like, tying down Ramirez. Say it into the microphone. Tell them about your story. This will be a goddamn amazing movie. But yeah, so I just I do feel like it, it not just needs to be dark because, spoopy and scary for us, it needed to be that dark because of the fact that it's like, you can't see my true form, and then of course you'll turn on each other. And once the old lady was, seemingly dead, all of a sudden it's clearly with all the lights off, their first thought is, let me put my hands to the floor and crawl, and oh no, where did the old lady's body go? It's like, if you were worried about that, don't worry, you probably are the one that just is about to die. But yeah, so, I do think it was interesting. What I do think that was strange, though, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I feel like the security guard, because he was taking this job, felt like he was repenting. I mean, I guess he never admitted that he was sorry or something like that, but I thought that's a good way of repenting, like actually having a goddamn job.
Right. Well, because his thing was he apparently beat someone to death with a baseball bat, but we don't know why.
Which happens. You're right. I mean, not in your everyday life, but I feel like everyone's done that at least once. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but more importantly, Tristan, I wish we had you on camera right now. I wish we had you on camera right now. Your expression. Sometimes I say things just to be like, how did I break Tristan this time?
Half of me is like, he's got a point, and the other half is like, I'm never hanging out with him again.
What's really funny is that it's literally one side. God's just like, I don't think you should do it, bro. Satan's like, come on.
It'd be a good time. Come on. Get that stressed out.
You got to do what you got to do, man. But no, yeah, we don't know why. And I guess they didn't want us to know why because they were like, no, he did a bad thing. Don't think why. He did a bad thing. Because, I mean, to be fair, they all did bad things. It's not like he's the only one that did a bad thing. But, I don't know, it's just strange. Him, and even to be fair, even the, the mechanic, I believe Tony, because the security guard was Ben and the mechanic was Tony, I thought with the tools, I thought it was going to be like, I was going to pull a major heist. I don't know of what, but I was going to pull a major heist. And then when it's discovered that, there was
He's
a woman
who
there.
Killed the detectives. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I had a strange feeling that, that they were trying to play up and try to confuse us with this idea that Tony was going to do something wrong, and that's why he was there. Something bad was definitely going to happen due to him. And then we just find out, no, he came in for a job interview. He just didn't want to bring his tools in, and I'm just like, what? What?
Yeah, why would you hide them under the bathroom sink? What?
That, I would argue, is officially the worst part of this entire movie. I know some people don't like the twist. Some people think it's a Shyamalanian twist, like all of his other movies, despite the fact that it's not like all of his other movies have had twists, actually. But still, or at least big twists or anything like that.
Right, yeah.
But still, I just feel as if, with that part of the movie, the worst part. That's I think the only part that I'm like, look, I can believe in so much with this movie, suspending it and everything like that. I can't with he left his tools under the, unless he's given up driving, which to live in New York, fair, I guess, but unless he's given up driving, and also the fact that, he killed the wife and kids. If he's like, I'm never driving again, that's one of his things. Why are you just carrying around your tools? As far as I know, he wasn't homeless.
Right.
As far as I know, he wasn't living out of a car. So, I don't know. It would be like, Matt wants to get a job here, he just didn't want to bring his camera equipment in with him. Then leave it somewhere else. Why would I be carrying around my camera and my lighting equipment? Because, we do Let's Plays and other stuff on our Those Guys Play YouTube channel. And Kikaku Corner on this YouTube channel. Sorry, excuse me. But why would I be carrying around, like, a microphone? Like, it's just, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird that these are the things that he's carrying around. And I understand that, again, we're supposed to, think, like, this guy, was he planning a heist? And to be fair, I would have been okay with him planning a heist. I know it might seem terrible, but, like, I don't think, unless we find out that he was, like, and I was going to kill everyone inside, but if he was just planning on, like, just stealing some cash and getting the fuck out of there, or stealing something, getting the fuck out of there, like I don't know, if it was, like, I don't know, like some kind of weird jewel in a safe somewhere, why would I give a fuck? Like, it's bad, don't get me wrong, but again, compared to what he actually did, which was kill two people, priorities. So, it's interesting. It's interesting the kind of people that were on this elevator. Like, many of them did bad things, but I feel like in comparison to, I'm sure it was just set up this way, in comparison to the guy that was forgiven, I'm kind of like, I don't know, I think the justice system could have worked for some of you.
Right.
Well, I say that because I don't think that the justice system would have actually incarcerated the dude with the Ponzi scheme.
Right, yeah.
Like, that dude would have been in one of those fucking jails where you get to leave in the middle of the day, which, by the way, do exist. There are jails for those that are in a certain tier of wealth in the U.S. that they go to this jail. They did something wrong, right? So they did something wrong. They get a judge says, hey, you have to go to jail. And they get put in this jail, and they can leave during the day. They just have to be back at night.
Mm.
God fucking damn it. Like, he would be one of those jails.
Yeah, right.
But, where everyone else in that fucking car, everyone else in that fucking elevator shaft would have been in real jail. Even the devil would have been like, the devil would have been in jail, the record scratches. So you're probably wondering how I got here.
Oh, my God.
This is my story. But yeah, so it was a very interesting set of people in that elevator. The question is, were you scared? Were you scared or thrilled? Like, did the movie do what it had to in that regard for you? Like, were you like, or at least were you, but no, let's start off with that. Were you scared or were you thrilled?
I mean, I was on edge for most of it.
Good.
And
that's good.
The deaths did get progressively more brutal, so I was like, okay. Yeah, so I guess that's the thing, it did its job, but I don't necessarily like being on edge. That's
fair. That's very fair.
So for me, this is kind of like, I get it and it's working, but I don't enjoy this feeling.
Interesting. So then would you have rather had a movie like, and I know you haven't really seen them, but like a Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, where it seems like at certain points there is a bit of a lull, in a good way, like you can take a break from murder.
Yeah.
Because at this point there was never really a break.
Right.
Like once shit hit the fan kept on turning and the shit kept on flying. Like there was no way to turn off the fan.
Yeah.
Because all right, and that's fair. That I'll give you. I mean, it did its job correctly, but I give you that 100%. And some people out there might be like, really? I don't think those other movies do that. But it's not like Freddy. Freddy literally, depending on the movie, he has his rules. Like only when you're asleep. Guess what? If you're awake, yes, you're worried. Oh, don't fall asleep. But there's still some moments where people can talk. And it's not like everyone has a chance to die every single second of the day. In this movie, once shit started picking up, it was just all of that until the end.
Right.
By the way, I have to admit, though, something that I enjoyed in this movie more than I did with The Happening, even though you mentioned the gruesome deaths, yes, they totally were, but it didn't feel as edgy as that one.
Yeah, I guess.
Because, like, in the beginning, when the glass fell and the officer took his partner and pulled him away from the glass, I thought the glass was going to shatter him in half, Final Destination style, because that's what fucking happened during The Happening.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, compared to The Happening, which I understand, like, when the virus is doing what it's doing in The Happening, or whatever you want to call it, I totally get it. But at the same time, they just had a lot of, in my opinion, gratuitous death scenes, where in this case, it felt like it wasn't gratuitous just for the sake of gratuity. I mean, it's the devil, for fuck's sakes.
Right.
But even then, it didn't seem like, I don't know, it didn't seem like it didn't seem like the deaths were, like, made to be like this, like, oh, man, that's so cool, bro. It was meant to be like, oh, my God, that guy got stabbed in the neck. Oh, my God, he was turned around. Was that a fucking bite on her back? What the fuck? Like, you're supposed to be like, oh, my God, not like, oh, that death is so, yeah, exactly. That's the thing that I prefer, and also the near deaths, I think, also helps, put us on edge in a good way. Where I thought, it's like, oh damn, the raccoon, elevator about to hit him, he jumps out the way. Oh, that's refreshing.
Yeah. Right.
Like I was expecting him to turn into a fucking accordion.
Right. Yeah, I was too. That's the funny thing. I thought he was going to get lured onto elevator number 6, and then it would crush him, and they'd all be killed at that point, but then it was like, no, the other elevator is going to fall. I'm like, wait, what's wrong with that one now? Yeah.
Also, interesting thing, the devil killed that guy not just because he was getting too close to helping them, but he also ended up blocking the exit. So even if they wanted to get out, they couldn't anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing I was thinking about. It's like, I guess anyone who tries to help is also, it's like getting in the devil's way. He's going to remove you from the equation.
It's just funny, though, because I just imagine just, like, God being like, whoa, man, that wasn't right. It's like, hey, everyone's guilty of something. It's like, I mean, not like those other guys, though.
Not punishable by death, though.
I do wonder, though, I don't think they ever confirmed it, what was in that dude's bag that he would have been so, Mr. Moneybags. What was in his bag that he was so concerned about them? Because it never seemed like, I don't know, like, what did he have that he was just like, no, like, guys, like, you're going to, I don't think you understand. When you know that I did this Ponzi scheme, you're all going to fucking kill me. Like, I don't know what.
I don't know. Like, it was just the note in his shirt about.
Yeah. Well, no, because they were saying, like, because when they were like, well, did you do this? No, I didn't. How the fuck? I didn't you do that to her. All right, then. So let's pat you down. Whoa, man. I don't know if you should do that.
Oh, I see.
Like, he was so defensive as if, like, he was like, all right, fine, I do have a cannon in my back pocket. How do we not notice the cannon?
Right.
But that's what, like, he acted like, they were going to search him, and he was like, all right, look, I collect machetes. And I just came from a con, and I got a lot of machetes. Like, what would he have on him? That's just like, listen. By the way, I love that her pepper spray, the old lady's pepper spray, was from 1984, which to me means that I'm just like, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, well, the devil is really out of touch. But the devil is really confusing here. But yeah, oh my God.
I love how it's like the devil's just like, what? Even I like a good practical joke now and then between my murders.
No, but yeah, exactly, right. If she had hit the pepper spray, it would have been silly string. But
oh my God.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if you think. Oh, how did you feel about the officer, like the actual officer in charge running things? Because to me, nothing against this actor, because I think he's been in some other stuff that he's been good in, but it felt very bland. Like I feel like he was trying too hard to be like, I'm very calm and cool, but I have to be affirmative. I have to be affirm certain things when I need to. But it never felt like he was actually, I don't know. I don't say in charge, but it felt like he was detached until he had to open up, in which case I don't think there was a bad... Like, I think when he opened up, like, you know, in some ways, I was like, okay, that's fair. Or in other scenes, without talking to the other, you know, people in the elevator, he was fine. But I don't know. There was something that just felt off about him, too. Like, in a weird way, I was like, what have you done, sir? And I guess you could argue, well, he nearly drank himself to death. And I'm just like, again, not... Compared to the guy who killed his wife and kid, I'm not really... I feel like there should be a tier system.
Right.
I don't know. Like, I nearly drank myself to death. All right, you get half a devil. You get like.
Well,
wait,
that
were
was,
they Coors
I
Light?
thought he was going to get killed
light.
at the end
Mm.
because he was
when he's looking in,
trying
the doors
to save
closed.
them.
I was saying when he looks into the like when the elevators open and they pry it open and they see like him, they see the guy. He's looking in and then the doors shut on his head and just crush him.
I mean, I thought he was going to get into the elevator at some point, and then he would be killed as well. And that would be the thing, like, no one would actually be able to explain what happened that day. All of the people who were in the elevator died.
That's why I think this was a good ending, because it actually does feel like it's uplifting in some way or another. I know it's kind of scary.
That was the message at the end. It's like, if the devil does exist, then that must mean that God does as well.
And I like that. I know to some, they're like, but the devil exists, which I totally get. But I'm still hyped about the fact that, you know, like, there can still be redemption for some, you know, for people. Last thing, like, it's
right.
Like, it's a good. I think it's a good message.
When they had the scene where the cop's character was able to forgive him for killing his family, no, I enjoyed that as well.
But
God, that got heavy though. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, no, it did. Like, it's the thing, like, it got heavy, but I still think that, because it's funny, you were telling me through text, so I haven't seen this in a while, so I just knew, like I said earlier, oh, she's the devil. Other than that, forgot pretty much all of it. So, when you said, you know, geez, man, you know, it's like, I like some stuff with, you know, a little bit lighter, and then I laughed because I remembered, I forgot which Shyamalan movie it was. I don't think it was The Sixth Sense. It might have been another one where I was telling you, and I was like, during the podcast too, we were making the joke of like, somebody throw a pie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I could have used that.
But I think with this movie though, its message, I don't know. Like, I do believe that with its message, it was uplifting. And I know it's like so many of them are dead, you know, but I still believe it was uplifting.
Right.
In a sense. I don't know. I can understand why it's like, but they're dead. It's just like, yeah, and people die all the time in the other shit that we watch. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I think for me,
like,
in a way, though, I kind of liked. I feel like I would have liked it with the idea that they didn't know what happened that day. Like, it would be from, like, still telling it from, like, Ramirez's perspective, I guess, because he's the one talking about the story his mother told him and being like, was it really the devil that day? I don't know.
Good.
Maybe that's just me.
But you want... No. I don't disagree. I think that, you know what it is? I think that if this was not created by Shyamalan in any way, not tied to him in any way, I don't think that would be considered a cop-out or a non-end, but I think due to its attachment to Shyamalan, even though other people wrote and directed it, I still think that with that tie to Shyamalan, it would have just tarnished Shyamalan's name further, of just another one of those, well, is it really an end? Even if the characters had reconciled, and one of them had said, I'm sorry, and then the other one had said, it's okay, I forgive you, still it would have been like, but what was it all about? Was it a raccoon? Who knows? So that's the thing. Like, I feel like if it was non-Shyamalan related in any way, it would have been interesting. But because it ties in, not to like a Shyamalan verse or anything like that, but because it's one of his works, I feel like it's just like it would have been another symptom of something that has happened in the past with some of his works, and we've seen it before. You know, it's like, well, the family's together. Yeah, alien invasion.
Right.
Oh, this. And I'm just like, yeah, but this. You know, like every single time it's like, oh, you know, it's like they made contact with the outside world, and now she knows what the outside world is like and that everyone isn't terrible. Yeah, and Joaquin Phoenix's character could die. Who the fuck knows?
Right.
That's the thing. Like, some of these movies, it's like they try to, you know, Shyamalan tries to, you know, make a nice, like at least Lady in the Water, I think, was great in the sense that even though I had a bunch of issues with it, it was great in the sense that it fucking ended. Like, there was an ending. And I was like, thank God. You know? Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, did she die? Like, no, she's fine. Monkeys helped her. Whatever. That's a sentence. That's a real sentence. The Lady in the Water is fine because monkeys helped. God damn those boars. Is a factual statement. Like that's based on the plot. That's not me making jokes for the podcast, everybody. That's true plot elements. But yeah, so I feel like with this movie, I mean, even with something like The Happening in a way, where it's just like, even though you could argue that it wouldn't happen in America again, I'm sorry, it wouldn't happening in America again, but still having it happening in France is just like, so it's still happening elsewhere. But yeah, so here though, yes, someone could argue, but the devil wasn't defeated. It's like, but he kind of was though. And that's good. Like, it shows, like, it's not like the devil is just this, you know, like, oh, I'm just going to, because I think sometimes people make, even though I admit the devil's ineffective, still I do think that some people think of the devil as being too OP or overpowered, you know? Like, the devil is like this boss fight in those games where when you find the boss for the first time in the first level, you're not actually supposed to beat him. It's just going to lead into a cutscene. You know those situations, Tristan. Yeah. Everyone thinks of the devil that way. It's like, no, you could never beat him. And it's like, the devil isn't just running around spinning with, you know, with katanas, like fucking, you know, just fuck with like 8 arms, just fucking slicing away as he runs around. Like, like the devil is, you know, a bit, in some ways is in your face, but not in your face in the devil's true form. Because again, that's a bit much. It's a bit too, what's it called? It's a bit too vulgar, too brash. You know? So yeah, I mean, granted, yes, it's like, but the devil's face was on the screen. It's like, yeah, because it was, you know, I feel like, it's funny, I feel like the devil was just like, honestly, it's really fun to fuck with Ramirez.
Oh my God.
When he started praying, I peed a little. I was laughing so hard I peed a little. Like, well, because as much as it's nice to pray, I don't think the prayer did much.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Like as he's praying, right? As he's praying, they're all like, you know, they're dead. I think at that point with the prayer, was the old lady dead yet when he started praying? I think she was, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so he's praying, and we just have the younger woman being like, so I've heard that air exhales out of the body, or other things, you know, come out of the body after someone dies. And security guard's like, yeah, why? It seems like the old lady's laughing.
Oh, my God.
Just the old lady on the floor, just, is that gas? The old lady, yes, gas. It sounded like she just said yes, gas. Fuck. Like, just coming out of her mouth. They're just like, I think. But by the way, I have to admit, though, even though I understand that it's scary to literally be next to someone who's hanging in an elevator, however,
yeah,
it was super fucking suspicious. And again, that was, I think, to throw us off the trail. Super fucking suspicious that when we find her, when we see her hanging, and it's like, oh no, she's dead. Literally, his first, the mechanic's first response is, "Don't worry, I'll contaminate the crime scene." Granted, I know it's terrifying. I would not want to be fucking anywhere near that woman hanging.
Yeah.
But how interesting is it? Like, if you didn't, if you were still wondering, like, who is the devil, or like, is the devil involved? Devil's in the name, but is it involving demonic actions? Who knows, right? Which, by the way, I do think that the name of the movie was kind of shit. The movie being named Devil is actually the worst thing.
Yeah. Right, because even with the story at the very, I guess the story itself doesn't really give it away, but it's kind of an odd thing to open up with, in my opinion, because you're already in the mindset of, so the devil's gonna fuck some shit up.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have no problem with the idea of, like, oh, guys, the devil's going to fuck. Because, like, most of Shyamalan's movies, it's like, this is The Village. It's going to be about the village. But, like, you wouldn't have the movie being named, like, people in the name of the movie was, its working title, The Village's working title was People in the Village Are Actually in Costume. But Shyamalan was like, I don't know. Is it too subtle? But that's the thing, like, movies don't usually do that, so I feel like having devil in the name. Granted, I'm sure the trailers fucked up everything. That's why I didn't want to send you a trailer. I was like, usually I don't want to either watch trailers or send you them because, they can be spoilerific. And in this case, I do wonder if the trailers, because I'm pretty sure I wanted to see this movie due to the trailers. So I don't remember, but I have a feeling a movie like this, especially with some of the way the movie is set up, I have a strange feeling that the trailers were very much devil. Like, I do wonder if it was just a marketing thing, because I don't know if I don't know if the original short story was named Devil, because yes, now we reveal the big twist despite the fact that we mentioned it twice. We really are reflecting the movie. Shyamalan technically didn't make this, but Matt, why is it part of the 12 Nights of Shyamalan? First of all, we have to fill 12 nights. Second, and I'm not putting in Stuart Little. Second, he wrote the original short story. He is a producer on the movie. Now, I don't know if that's just the standard producer credit that they do, randomly give. Some people sometimes, like, I think Stan Lee gets, like, executive producer credit on Marvel movies still. And he doesn't work on the new Marvel movies, of course. So I don't know if it was just a posthumous thing, or not posthumous, but if it was just like oh, hey, you wrote the original story, here you go, right? Or if it's because they adapted that much from his original story. Because for all we know, he wrote a short story about, like, it would be cool if, like, the devil fucked with things. And they just went, that's a great concept, Shyamalan, and then they just turned it into this. Like, I don't know if his short story has anything to do with an elevator or with the devil fucking with people in a confined space. For all I know, the short story was about them doing it in a submarine. I have no fucking idea. But what I will say, a funny thing, so at any point, and I know maybe it's because we're, divorced from sci-fi and we're in supernatural and stuff like that, but was there any point during the movie that you're like, all right, I think this is when the doctor is supposed to come in? Did you get that vibe ever? Like, and this is the point when the doctor saves the day with some timey-wimey bullshit. With a sonic screwdriver and a dream.
No, I didn't get that feeling from this. I was like, even Ramirez was saying, it's like, or the cop was asking him, is there any way, like, theoretically, if this story plays out the way you say it's supposed to, is there any way we can help them? Like, can I do this? He's like, nah, they dead, fam.
All right, Ramirez. How many chances do you see? I see millions of possibilities. How many do we end up winning? One. It's like,
oh my God. The old lady snaps her fingers. Half the people in the building disappear.
If you noticed on the security guard's phone, Captain Marvel's logo popped up. No, I haven't even seen Infinity War. God damn it! Fucking want to see Infinity War. Someone needs to go see Infinity War with me, Tristan.
I don't
know why I'm yelling at you.
I saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom with you. You brought me to
I
that,
paid for the
actually.
ticket.
Thank you.
And by paying for the ticket, I mean
Solo.
paying for the ticket means that I owed him money for Solo's ticket. So I paid his ticket.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but no, you did see Fallen Kingdom, and we did see Solo, and I need to find someone to see Infinity War with me. But by the time this comes out, I've probably already seen it. But and the Captain Marvel thing was a joke for any of you that haven't seen it. But anyway, so what was I going to say? Yeah, so I only reason why the Doctor came up is because there was that random Doctor Who. Oh God, I think it was written by Chibnall, the one that was kind of like. I think it was the one that was kind of spiritual-ish, where it was like the devil, like it was like all the writings. One of the guys looked like he had like fucking the marks of like the Uchiha on him. Do you remember that one? They were stuck in a space station.
Yeah, with the black hole.
Was that the one where the Doctor went blind? Or was that a different one?
No.
Was that Gridlock? Or am I thinking? I'm thinking of two different ones, aren't I? I'm combining them.
You're thinking of you're thinking of two different Doctors.
Wait, no, I'm thinking of 10. Yeah, what was
10 didn't go blind.
No. Yes, he did. For a few minutes, yes, he did.
What?
He had a story where he went blind for a bit.
Oh.
And we all thought he was done, and then he was fine. It was one with Martha,
okay.
I think. Martha had to help him.
Okay.
Yes. That was, if it wasn't Martha, it's funny. If it wasn't Martha, it was Rose. Matt, you're just naming companions now. No, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 with Martha, and he went blind. I'm pretty sure it was a story written by, I think, Chibnall. Who's currently going to write Doctor Who next with the new Doctor? If it's not, it's
I
not.
think it was the same writer for Broadchurch.
Yeah,
I don't
remember
the guy's actual name. Yeah.
No, because he wrote some older Doctor Who stories, and one of them was the one with the religious overtones, with the writing on the hands. The guy, and then like it was like a demonic presence, or the Doctor was like, you would call him the devil. It was like it's like the darkness, or like the old time one, or some shit like that. So in my head, out of nowhere, while we're talking about this, I'm like, the Doctor pops in, hello. Hi.
Right.
So you're the devil. What? Hits her with a screwdriver. She goes, explodes.
Oh my.
It's like, yeah. So.
Puts a 3D glasses on.
Oh, you look terrifying under that skin.
Uh-oh.
The devil. It's like the devil goes away. And then he just goes off traveling with that guy, with the guy that because he doesn't know that he killed the other guy's family yet. So he's just like, oh, you're just a victim. Yes. All right, then, let's travel together. By the way, don't step on the blood. Don't want that in the TARDIS.
Right.
But anyway, so here's the thing. So I know these kinds of movies aren't really your thing usually, but did you like the movie though? Like, it's something you'd recommend to people? You'd be like, well, it's not usually one that I'd watch, but
yeah, I guess I would. I don't know if this is like for people who enjoy thrillers though. I don't necessarily think this would be a good thriller for them.
I agree. Like, I do think that, and I'm not trying to shit on the film at all, but I do think that if people have, that's why I'm saying, like, I think I was trying to allude to it earlier, like, if someone who loves murder mysteries, I don't think this is, like, the hardest, murder mystery type dealy, Like, I don't think this is, like you're going to be sitting there racking your brain, like, who done it? Because it's the devil, you just don't know who the devil is in. But even then, there's a limited amount of choices, and they're trying to throw you off the track. But I think, even though I'm not saying this should have happened, the biggest twist would have been, like, if one of the security guards, not Ramirez, the other one, was the devil.
Right.
Like, that, I'm not saying it should have happened, but I'm saying, like, to have the twist be the old lady, that's not a crazy twist. That's a twist that would have worked, I think, in the 80s, Because with the butler, it's the same idea. It's like, but he's meant to serve you. It's like, but now we know that, like, and?
Right.
Kill his boss. Who fucking cares? But, like, back in the day, not in the 80s, of course, earlier than the 80s, but, like, back in the day, it was like, but how could the butler have done it? His job is meant to only help you. Oh, that is such a revelation. But nowadays, it's like, yeah, no shit, the butler did it. Why the fuck wouldn't he? You treat him like shit.
Right.
Fuck, if I was your butler, I would have killed you too. Like, that's what people say now, because they're like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean the butler did it? Oh, no. What the fuck? But still, so in this case, it's like, oh, no, the little old lady did it. I'm like, yeah, and if she wasn't possessed by the devil, I would imagine she did it with a taser. Like, is that old lady not supposed to be packing heat? She's walking around New York. Surprised she didn't pull out a gun. She pulled out pepper spray. Oh, I need to pull out this little old pepper spray. That's when you know that she isn't legit. If she was a real old lady in New York, she would have fucking pumped them all with bullets. The second she would have been like, excuse me, I have a Glock. Shut the fuck up. And you're like, all right, actually, this lady's legit. She's a New Yorker. Never mind. We're good. But 30-year-old technically at the time, 20-year-old pepper spray, I was like, I don't know if I trust you. You might be the devil.
Right.
Also, I love the idea that the devil got or conjured up 20-year-old pepper spray. He stole someone else's purse, my bad. So he stole someone's purse who had 20-year-old pepper spray in it.
Or maybe he's the time traveler.
Yeah, right? Yes. So you would recommend, potentially, to some people who kind of want to get like their feet wet, you know, like, oh, this is interesting. Let's see this. Which I have to admit, I would too. But yeah, I don't know if like people who are really into it, who are like, because I do think that to some people this might seem like a mediocre film, and it's interesting because yes, I can understand if someone says this was mediocre, but I think looking at it from the scope of every other Shyamalan movie that we've seen thus far, I don't know. I think I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable movie. I didn't hate it, despise it. I mean, and I know some people might go, but there's so many flaws. I don't know. I think the only real big flaw to me was the fact that the fucking dude left his tools there. It's like, unless you tell me more about your family situation, why would you have tools to leave there? I know what you do for a living, but your tools should not be with you at this time. Unless, you know, like, because I don't think she said he was working another job, but he wanted to get one more stable here. That makes sense. Oh, he came from a job. Okay. But she made it seem like he's just like, yeah, it's really hard to get Tony to not carry his tools. Sometimes we're eating at dinner, and it's kind of a nice place. And I'm like, Tony, put the tools away. And he's like, but I brought the good tools. It's like, Tony. Like,
oh, my God.
Like, it's just fucking weird.
I guess.
That's the only thing. That, to me. Oh, what?
Yeah. For me, it was odd. Like, the film felt kind of slow.
Yes.
I mean,
well, it was trying to go for a slow. Yeah, no, it's just Yeah,
they were building up.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, and people did say that. People said I think the film was boring. Some people say, and I can't disagree with I do disagree, but I understand where they're coming from. Because for me, I'm okay if the film is that slow because, I consume so much media that is so fucking fast-paced that every once in a while it's nice to watch, a film that's a bit slower. Yeah, it's an hour and 20. But even then, I mean, I don't think I would have wanted them to make it any faster paced and add another, 40 minutes to it. Like, this is a movie where, I'm happy if it was an hour 20, and maybe if they cut some other stuff from the exterior and just focused more on the elevator, it'd be like a 45-minute TV episode of Black Mirror or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have a big problem with this being slow, but I can understand why you would, and some people definitely did. Like I said, I consume so much stuff that, is like a Marvel movie where, sometimes stuff, people are talking and there's exposition, but other times it's just like, boom, 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 oh shit, I'm flying, oh no, I'm falling, boom, 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 explosion, building explosion, you know what I'm saying? I watched one episode of DBZ, and I'm just like, how is my brain not exploded from all of the fucking... How do I not
Explosions.
have like sensory overload from like one episode of DBZ, right? And like the next one, then it's arguably very slow because it's Piccolo talking about shit for like 15 goddamn minutes. And it's like, Jesus, Piccolo, I understood all of that 10 episodes ago. Please.
Right.
You
I
know?
guess the thing
So,
with me was for the people, like, when they, you know, getting them all in the elevator and then stuff starts to happen until you really get that sense of, you know, like Ramirez bringing it up, like, I think it's the devil, guys. And then shit really starts to hit the fan. Like, the thing is, you find out why they're there, but it's not like you saw, because for a bit I was like, why is this happening to them? Until, you know, the cop starts to uncover, like, you know, oh, this one's done that, and this one's done that, and I'm like, oh, that's why they're being judged. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you didn't...
Which I guess necessarily a problem, but...
Well, no, but that's the reason why I think, like, and maybe you're not coming at it from this angle, but, like, I can hear you, and I add this onto it. It's the fact that due to the name of the movie and due to the way the movie starts off with the passage and with Ramirez's voiceover and everything like that, you have this idea that you know the devil's behind all of it. So, like, if you didn't know that the devil was actually behind all of it, or, like, there was that whole idea of, but is the devil behind all of it? Granted, someone might have that idea because it's a Shyamalan movie, but still, I think it's just coming off as a, like, it's because you normally, without the devil, when you take the devil out of it, then it's a movie of it's a true whodunit. Not like a, whodunit because it's the devil, but it's a true, like, well, these people are clearly being killed off. Is there a mastermind in a room somewhere? Is it you know, like, because that's what the cop was going based off of, like, oh.
Right, yeah.
Because I bet you the
I
cop.
enjoyed.
Because I'm pretty sure the cop was like, I bet you money that Tony was hired by, you know, the wife's husband to offer and then make it look like, and then like his partner came in, potentially like a recent case where it was a murder, but, you know, tried to kill other people to make it look like it was something that it wasn't. That was an interesting idea, but of course, because we know that it's El Diablo, we're like, shh, stop bringing up rational ideas.
Right.
We just got to know who the devil is.
I feel like I feel like that's the sense. If it was because he finds out the security company is owned by one of the guys that she had framed, and that, you know, they would look to want to kill her because she had dirt on them.
It wasn't the framed. I'm pretty sure it was the husband who she seems to be divorcing. Like, that's her last name. Her last name is Conway. So it seems like the idea was, you know, like I said way earlier, right? It's like I blackmailed all these dudes. Then I managed to find a very rich hubby who I don't care about, so I'm going to divorce his ass and get that money. And he's kind of picking up, the husband, who we never see, picking up on the fact that, like, I think she's going to leave me and take my money. Why did I not sign a prenup? And his dick is like, you know why. And so he's like, I don't. And so that's why she was going to talk to a lawyer, and that's why the lawyer was like, I can't tell you anything. I'll just say this much: check close.
Right.
You know, check close to the family. And then he's like, wait, Conway, is that the goddamn name on their fucking uniforms? And I thought it was a completely separate thing. Like, it didn't really tie into one another, but like when he said that, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, because they had made mention to another. Yeah. Well, because then they started to think, the security guard was hired to kill her. You know, he's the murderer. He's using the others as random targets to cover up for the actual crime. Like,
right, sorry, he thought it was a security guard. Right, but finding the tools was also kind of confusing because it's kind of like, but why you have tools, though? Like, it would have been very interesting if it was like some weird cover-up where it's just like, you know, like security guard's like, her husband hired me to kill her, and Tony's like, one of the people that she blackmailed hired me to kill her. Well, God,
right.
What?
Well,
they both shake each other's hand. Well, it's nice to meet you. So,
yeah, I thought it would have been they were kind of in cahoots. Like, with the tools, I thought, because they say, do you think this could have been used to, fuck up the elevator? And he's like, I have no idea. I thought it would have been, Tony was hired to gum up the elevator so it stops, and then, the other guy is hired to kill the woman off so she doesn't take the dude's money. But yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's a very interesting idea. But of course, that changes when, it's funny because it sort of works, but then of course that would have been, in my opinion, a terrible plot. And for some people, they're like, but the devil, and I'm like, yeah, but they're security guards. One of the security guards has to be in on it. Why did they call the cops if they knew this shit was going to happen?
Right.
In other words, the two of them can't be working together if they kill everyone other than themselves. You know what I'm saying? Not one of them can't get out alive unless it turns into, one of them's framing the other. But it would be too convoluted. You know what I'm saying? It'd be one of those weird movies where it's I was paid to kill everyone, including you.
Right.
No.
I feel like
yeah. But,
I feel like the impact of the devil coming in would have been better though if you didn't suspect it was, I guess it would have taken
as
away
heavily.
kind of, if you, right, if you didn't suspect it to be supernatural means so early on, and that once Ben's security guard has his neck twisted all the way around, then you're like, oh.
Yeah, I think that, I don't think we need to remove the passage in the beginning or Ramirez's voiceover, but I do think, naming the movie Devil, I think there's a certain level, there's a certain expectation that needs to be met.
And just having, the different crazy things that happen in the elevator not seem so supernatural.
Yes. Another thing, until you're watching it and you're like, oh my God, why is it? What is, is that a face in the screen where I think due to the marketing and due to the name and everything like that, if you watch, seeing the face in the screen, it's not it's oh shit, yeah, of course. It's Devil.
Yeah, right.
Why would it not be? Yeah, it's the Devil. Was it not supposed to be the Devil? We're supposed to be shocked? Ramirez, you shocked?
Right.
Yeah, he's shocked. But but us, we're yeah. Oh, you know what I think was the most unbelievable thing in the movie, as we're kind of, in my opinion, kind of maybe wrapping this up a little bit. I think by the way, Carraway was the name, not Conway, Carraway. But what I think is the most unbelievable thing, the fact that a guy jumped out the window. It's 2010. They enforced that shit.
Oh, you mean the windows, right? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, not the glass in the elevator. The guy actually who originally killed himself by jumping out the window. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been in an office building in a while, so
no,
maybe,
I'm pretty sure most buildings nowadays, or even back then, the glass is reinforced. Yeah.
Yeah.
The glass is
that should have been there.
So that doesn't happen. Yes.
I thought that was going to be their first thing. Their first thing was going to be how did the guy even get through the window? But everyone was cool with it, and I'm like, oh.
Or even on top of the roof too. There's usually fencing along, or at least some kind of catch off of large buildings. That's true. I mean, I think the roof was never meant for anyone to get on there other than maintenance.
Yeah. So maybe that's the reason why. But no, you're 100% right on that end as well. There should have been something. Now it's funny. Now I'm actually, oh God, sorry. I saw the security guard's neck snapped, and when I first saw it, I thought it was snapped the other way, which in my head made more sense in a strange way.
Yeah, no.
But no, it was snapped in a really ungodly way.
That's why when I saw that, I'm like, So neither of you are the murderer, and you both understand that now, right? There is no humanly possible way that either of you twisted his neck all the way around.
Yes. Ooh, one thing that I enjoyed, even though, funnily enough, some of these actors have actually ended up appearing in some other movies that we've seen. I think 2 or 3 of the actors in this movie have been in Spider-Man Homecoming, which is hilarious. It's
oh my God.
Similar casting directors, I think, but But my main point, though, is that I like that I didn't know who they were, and that's not me trying to shit on the actors' careers. It's just the idea that, like, it's same thing with, like, Cloverfield, right? Like, even though this movie, obviously, it doesn't have, like, a found footage, like, it's not a found footage film, it is still kind of like we're supposed to be connecting with these people in a way where it wouldn't have worked if it's like, and one of them is Tom Cruise. That would have immediately taken you out of everything. Because, heck, even if Tom Cruise wasn't the devil in the movie, still, my whole thing is you would still be thinking, like, oh, my God, is Tom Cruise going to be okay? And I'm not saying that actors can't get lost in roles if you know them from other things. You totally can. It happens all the time. It's not like every single time you see what?
Right. So Jeff Goldblum, Mark Hamill, Sigourney Weaver, all walk into an elevator, and then the devil.
Right. Well, what's funny is I thought you were naming, because I was like, wait, because when you said Sigourney Weaver, I was like, well, she was in The Village. So I was like, are we just taking, this is going to be the movie. This movie would have just been Shyamalan taking his celebrity cameos and putting them all in one elevator, like Bruce Willis, Joaquin Phoenix, Mel Gibson, and Sigourney Weaver. I'm thinking who else has been in a movie that I'm like, it's so-and-so. I mean, Haley Joel Osment became bigger, but still, I would argue he would start off as
Mike.
No. Well, not only Zooey Deschanel, but Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Mark. There we go.
That would have been the fucking best thing ever. Just Bruce Willis. All right, stay calm. I don't know what's going on here. Mark Wahlberg's like, no, fuck you, man. We're stuck in an elevator, man. What's going on here? Mel Gibson's like, look, guys, I think it's the Jews. Sigourney's like, shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Mel Gibson's just like, all right, some people just don't like the truth. Like, each and every one of them, Joaquin Phoenix is just meditating in the corner.
Oh, my God.
That would have been fucking great. Just all of the celebrity cameo appearances just in one elevator.
Devil Celebrity Edition.
Yeah, no. The one person who isn't a celebrity is the devil. And it's just like, I run everything. I even run Hollywood. That's why I'm here to judge all of you. Mel Gibson's like, see, I told you that she was Jewish. What the
Neck
fuck?
snapped all the way around.
The devil's even like, what the fuck, man? Seriously, what the fuck? But yeah, so actually, you know what? Mel Gibson would have been the one to survive and keep on going and have a career, because he has one now. Like, he's directing. Everyone forgave him apparently. It's been years since he's done anything in the movie industry, and now he's directing in movies. However, I don't think we'll be seeing him in a Mad Max film anytime soon.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, yeah. So anything you want to say about the movie? I think the best way to end this is the Devil Celebrity Edition. Like, literally, it's like it's like a fucking game show. Just immediately Steve Harvey comes out. All right, now it's the Devil Celebrity Edition.
Yeah, right.
Like, why is Steve Harvey hosting everything? Jesus. But yeah, either way, moving forward, is there anything you want to say about the movie before we wrap this up? Any big things you want to say about the movie? Any revelations? Anything that you loved, that you hated? Did anything make you cry? Did you learn something new about yourself, Tristan?
No.
No, not really. So I want to mention the budget for this movie was $10 million. It made $62.6 million. Now, I do worry because I think the marketing might have been rather high, because I do remember there being a lot of like short teasers and things like that for the film. But I have to say, though, that's not so bad. Like, that's a very small budget. But like $10 million? That's compared to, some of his other works that he's, paid a lot of money into and then gets back like fucking like $60 million. It's like, I spent $250 million. You've gotten back $60 million. That is an issue, Shyamalan. That is an issue. I have to say, though, we clearly, like, even if you didn't know this was an M. Night Shyamalan film in any way, you skipped the credits, so you didn't even see his name in the credits, maybe you weren't paying attention. The fact that this is set in Philadelphia, it's like, oh, nope, wait, I have a strange feeling. I think this is a Shyamalan film.
Right.
Yeah. So it definitely, just that alone, it's like, that's a Shyamalan film. And let's see. I want to make sure anything. Funnily enough, Agatha Christie was actually an inspiration for the film.
Okay,
that's interesting. Well, because he
basically
said,
I'd rather read one of her books than watch this.
Have you read any of her books?
I haven't, but Doctor Who again.
Excuse me, sir.
But...
You can't do that. Oh, I know. Yeah, no, same. But anyway, no, because Shyamalan acknowledged that the basic structure of the story was, quote-unquote, an Agatha Christie nod. And apparently in Christie's 1939 novel, And Then There Were None, as in Devil, a group of people with guilty pasts are trapped in an isolated area and began to die one by one. So that's definitely why I thought of Christie immediately, because I'm literally reading this now for the first time. But I'm sure that's why I thought of Christie immediately. And also, yes, you're not wrong. Here's the thing. I'm not saying you're wrong in saying that. Of course, why would you not want to read her books over watching a film, especially one like this? But at the same time, it's kind of like, Tristan, have you actually read the novels that you're praising? You should praise them, but have you read them? And you said no, and I'm like, Tristan.
I still...
Me too, but I can't praise them like so much better than the movies nowadays. But you haven't read the novels. I know.
Okay.
Apparently there was supposed to be a sequel to this, which is like, but it was going to be like like an anthology series, like American Horror Story or Twilight Zone.
Oh,
so this
right.
So it wasn't supposed to, so apparently Devil was intended to be the first, because there's another name for this, which I don't know if it's a better or worse name. The Devil is also known as The Night Chronicles Devil.
Huh.
The reason why I don't like The Night Chronicles is because calling it The Night Chronicles Devil, tell me if I'm wrong here, Tristan, it sounds like one of those anime OVAs from like the 80s or 90s that you're like, yeah, this is going to be really pornographic. It's not porn.
Oh God.
But it's going to be, doesn't it sound like one of those where it's like The Night Chronicles Devil? And it's an action one, with some gore, with some vampires, but you're looking at it and you're like, there's going to be a lot of breasts in here. And it's not porn, but you see what I'm saying though, right? Like, it's going to air either on Sci-Fi or Showtime.
Oh God, right.
You see what I mean though, right? It just sounds like one of those 80s OVAs. So I don't know if The Night Chronicles sounds better, but apparently it was intended to be the first in a Night Chronicles trilogy, which involved the supernatural within modern urban society. That sounds very interesting.
Right.
And apparently the second one would have been called 12 Strangers and then later changed into Reincarnate, which, all right.
Okay, then.
And it was supposed to be about a jury discussing a case dealing with the supernatural. And then the third installment was going to be taken from the abandoned sequel to Unbreakable.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, okay. And then that turned into something else. Okay. That's interesting. All right. So that's fun.
Mr. Glass joins forces with the devil.
Yeah, right? I feel like Samuel L. Jackson would be like, dude, this sounds amazing. Sign me up.
And then Bruce Willis has to team up with God?
Listen, man, we got to do what we got to do to get this thing funded.
Oh my God.
But yeah, the director of the movie was John Eric Dowdle. I think it's Dowdle or Dodal. And let me see what other things. Yeah, so he's best known for doing horror movies, and I'm going to see if there's anything that I could be like, Tristan, you know this. Oh shit, he did. Oh shit. The Poughkeepsie Tapes, Quarantine, and of course Devil. Quarantine being an American remake of a Spanish horror movie called Wreck, which also has to kind of deal with both the supernatural in a way, it has to deal with zombies as well, and also a little bit of Christianity sprinkled in there. Interesting shit.
Right.
And the Poughkeepsie Tapes, which was it was a film, documents the murders of a fictional serial killer in Poughkeepsie, New York.
I'm not sure whether I have cut out or Matt has cut out. Oh, no, it's the devil's work. That's it. But then who did the devil take? Matt or I? Troubling indeed. We're not even stuck in an elevator.
End things early here. Hope you all are having a lovely 12 Nights of Shyamalan. And I'm going to do a little outro, edit it in, or maybe we're going to re-record the end of this. I don't know what's going to happen. You'll find out when we release it.
The devil took me.
Tristan, can you hear me?
The devil took me. Yes, I can. Now I can.
This now.
Matt?
I was saying that I don't know if anyone can hear me or not. We're going to have to re-record this ending. Either way, I think this is the time to end everything. What?
Yep, definitely the devil's work.
God damn it. All right. Take care. Hope you have fun. Everybody.
Good night.